Discount Podcast.
Welcoming you cheap beggars to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast hosted by three people so cheap they might just be some shovelware.
Good. I like that.
I am Josh, I'm one of your hosts and plugging into Player 2.
I'm Darren, hello. And in the Black Friday sales, buying 16 PS5 games, 5 accessories, and a small island nation for the price of a Nintendo game.
It's me, it's Cerys, woo!
Yeah, hello, we're back. We are here with a Freeplay and Freebies episode where we're going to be looking back at the month of November because somehow
It's November.
we've got to November. God knows how it happened, but we're here. We're here and get used to it. I didn't want to go there, but it's all I could think of when I said it.
You could physically see the cogs turning of, am I going to say it?
I was trying to find something else to find.
You can see the two halves of the brain cell meeting in the middle.
Yes, we're here. It's November, and we've made it through November. We're almost in the craziness that is December, Christmas, and all that mess. We are recording this on Black Friday weekend, so we haven't got anything or utilised any of the sales to take advantage of more games to talk about. But yeah, it's the end of the year, which normally means things are calming down. But not for everything. Not for Game Awards. Game Awards are ramping up.
We've had all the nominations for the Game Awards. I don't know quite how else to say it.
Yeah.
Because when your company is called the Game Awards and you have your Game Awards, that gets very confusing.
It becomes, the Game Awards, Game Awards. I mean, that's why you have like stuff like the Golden Joystick, which sounds a little better, doesn't it?
The Golden Joystick Game Awards is fine. But no, they released all of their various nominations, and I thought we would just go through a few of them to see how we feel. Are we upset? Are we happy?
Before going in, I wasn't overly shocked by what we saw in the top games of the year.
No. I think this is the thing a lot of people are saying going into specifically the Game Awards, where they every year nominate 6 games, and you find it every year that 5 of them are very much, yes, of course that's gone in.
Definitely.
What else would go in? And the 6th one is they just throw something in.
They give something to Nintendo normally.
Yeah, to be fair, Nintendo normally releases something good.
Didn't they release, just out of interest, there was Zelda Breath of the... No, what was it? Tears of the Kingdom. Was that this year?
That was this year, yeah.
And the Nintendo thing they gave out was to Mario Wonder.
They're both in Game of the Year.
Oh, are they?
They're both in Game of the Year.
That makes more sense. Okay.
So we'll go over it now. The Game of the Year nominees are Alan Wake 2.
Which seems to have taken the world by storm.
Yeah. I'm shocked. Honestly.
I'm so happy.
Let's take a step to the side to say I am shocked and honestly also happy.
But not fully happy.
Because it's digital only.
Because it's digital only. If they've done... Because now people go, well, we could just do digital only. Bearing in mind, we've got another game coming up that's going to say basically the same thing, but yeah.
I think it's wild how fast that came storming out of the gates and just everything was like, 10 out of 10, Game of the Year, amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, for fucking Alan Wake.
Best song of the year. I was like, what the fuck's going on? This is insane.
It does look fucking
It looks incredible.
though. It just looks so good. It looks so good.
It's one of those things,
desperate to play it.
I don't know why, internally, I expected it to drop at like an 85.
Yeah.
I just had that sort of opinion of it, and it's going to drop and be good, couple little niggles, because it's a fucking Remedy game.
Yeah.
And
although,
it came
to
out...
be fair, Control was pretty solid the whole way through. There weren't many issues with Control.
I mean,
I really enjoyed Control.
The problem with Control on launch is that it didn't play.
Yeah, that's true. That is
It launched on the base PS4, which couldn't run it. It then
I bought it
came
on launch.
on the PS4 Pro, which still couldn't fucking run the thing.
Yeah.
It's great on a PS5,
It's really good when it works.
It's great on a PS5.
But yeah, we have Alan Wake 2, we have Baldur's Gate 3.
Not a shock to anyone at all.
Not a shock to anyone.
Oh my god, you talk to anyone who's playing it and fuck me.
I reckon it takes it.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be shocked if Baldur's Gate didn't take pretty much every award that it went for. It's just gonna get everything.
Spider-Man 2.
Again, not shocking. It's up there. Really nice game.
It's a pretty good game. I don't think it's to win.
It's
really anything, but
no,
good for it.
It's not. It's this year has been really like a good powerhouse set of games. So yeah, it's just gonna sort of
good for it.
Well, there was a thing last year and a few years before where the Horizon games have really bad luck by releasing not only in the same year, but in like the same week of the Game of the Year frontrunner.
Yeah.
And this is what's happened to Spider-Man.
What's funny about Spider-Man is that the other games were so concerned about Spider-Man, they moved their release dates, and then obviously Spider-Man came out and we went, Game of the Year, and then Alan Wake 2 came out and went, fuck you, Spider-Man 2, and everyone was like, oh, yeah.
Spider-Man, also known as...
Who knew that his biggest enemy was Alan Wake,
I know.
a fucking crime writer?
I mean, fucking hell, I'd read that comic.
Or Alan Wake versus Spider-Man.
Or Alan
Great.
Wake versus the Great Electric
Spider!
I'll skip over the one that I think has been thrown in at the end.
Yep.
Mario Bros. Wonder.
Deserves to be a
Very
really
such
good
a good game.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Which is not a shock to anyone,
No.
and it's basically a build on what Breath of the Wild is, so everyone...
Everyone loves it.
Nice supposed way. Everyone sucked the dick of Breath of the Wild so hard that I'm not shocked that they're doing the same with Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. And it's-
Although I would say people have been quieter about this one than they have about
They
Breath of the Wild.
have, because it is a lot of the same.
Yeah.
So people, it's... How to describe it? It has the same problem, really, that Spider-Man does, where if you really liked the first one, you will really like the second one, even if there's not much new going on. If you did not like the first one, there is nothing here for you.
That's it.
You can just go, all right, you have fun over there, and that's how I feel.
Cool.
It's
I
not for
can't
me,
wait
but-
to discuss this one that's been thrown in there.
And then the
Because I
one
know
that's
what it
been
is.
thrown in at the end is the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah.
Now, I have a problem with remakes being
Yep.
put in as Game of the Year contenders. I don't think a remake should be in there, a remaster. I think they should be in their own category. We discussed
Yeah.
about this briefly. Because you're cheating. People already love this game. You go, oh, you really love this game? Here's this game. I mean, you can argue that same with Spider-Man 2, but it's a new game. But it's going, you love this game? Here it is again. Oh my god, yes. Slap us on the arse and say we're great.
Yeah.
It doesn't-
I gotta admit, I agree with that. And I think I love Resident Evil, and I love Resident Evil 4, and I think they did a great job of it, but it has already got such like it's widely renowned as like a huge fan favorite anyway before the remakes came out, and I think to put that out there knowing that there's going to be a massive fan base that are going to love it whether it's shit or not, let's be honest, and it's not shit, it's great, but I would agree with that. I think if remakes had a category, great, awesome, they did a great job, but
like you could have had new IPs or new developers. Like you could have had Armored Core 6 in there. You could have Lies of P in there. You could have they're not going to put an indie game up there, but they could have put like their top running indie game up there. You could have put
it's the same reason I get frustrated with remakes of movies. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, like last year, the throw-in game was Stray. Either last year or the year before, whenever
It was
Stray
last year.
came
It was
out.
last year because it was in my top 5 last year.
But that was sort of the throw-in one, which is sort of along those lines of the biggest, not as sort of from the big AAA company title. I think it depends on the remake. I completely agree in terms of remasters because it's just the same game that looks a bit prettier.
Sometimes they're not even remasters. Look at Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
They're exactly the same game.
I think if it's a remake, it depends on how it's done. Something like Resi 4 or Dead Space, where it is very much following the same paces but just remade from the ground up, I'm less inclined towards it. Something like the Final Fantasy VII one, where they've taken the same universe and the same characters but completely rebuilt a different.
That's different. Yeah,
I think that's fine.
Because Final Fantasy VII, they basically went, oh yeah, we're doing this, but it's going to be broken into several parts because we're going to change how this all works. We're going to do everything different. Whilst they could
the same game.
But let's be honest, they could put a category in this year which was best remake remaster,
And they would have to leave some on the floor. Yeah,
because there was Resi 4, Dead Space. You had Metroid Prime. You had the Metal Gear Solid come out. You had what's the game that you were playing? The Rolly one.
Oh, Katamari.
Katamari had a remake this year. There are others in there as well. Like that's 5 just off the top of my head.
And most categories are 5, to be fair.
And you could have left, and there were others that just wouldn't have made it. So like you had the options to. I don't know. But every year you're not going to be able to fill that category out necessarily.
Yeah.
But I think every year you probably get about 5.
You probably get 5, yeah. Especially if you expanded it to remasters, I think you could easily get 5.
Definitely.
Every year. So yeah, I think Baldur's Gate's going to win.
I think Baldur's Gate's going to win most. Baldur's Gate will win a
win.
lot. I think Baldur's Gate's going to win a lot. Alan Wake will win a few. And they'll give them
Alan Wake will probably win best narrative. It's got.
Is Baldur's Gate in there?
Baldur's Gate is in there, but I reckon Alan Wake's stronger as a
stronger narrative. Yeah.
I just want to go over a couple other ones. Best adaptation. I forgot the Twisted Metal TV show came out.
Oh yeah,
That's all I want to say about that.
Twisted Metal TV show, fun.
It's fun, is it?
It's fun.
Fair.
It's fun. Yeah.
But
I mean, I watched 3 episodes and then didn't go back to it, but like I had fun for those 3 episodes.
It's not in contention.
What else do you have in adaptation? I'm just curious what they've got in adaptations.
So
actually.
there's Castlevania Nocturne, which I think is the Castlevania Netflix show.
Yep.
The Gran Turismo movie.
Terrible.
Last of Us TV show.
Good.
And the Mario Bros movie.
All right.
I think it's between
Last of Us TV show
and Mario, I reckon. I don't think the others have the profile.
No. It's going to be one of those two. Although I think Castlevania is going to be snubbed quite a bit because I think that was actually good. But like Last of Us,
better.
Last of Us was amazing, to be fair.
Yeah.
And they did do some changes to it, which was great. So I was just curious what those were because I haven't looked at all the categories yet.
Art direction. Shout out to Hi-Fi Rush.
Hooray! Hi-Fi Rush.
I reckon it will get that.
It should. It's
cool.
so good. It's such a beautiful game. So brilliant. It's just so understated, and no one's talking about Hi-Fi Rush, and I'm really upset.
There's what's the other ones I want to talk about? I want to talk about like best something game. So best independent game and best debut indie game. I like the Dredge is there.
But best independent game is also got controversy at the moment because of Dave the Diver.
Yeah.
Because it's a AAA company that's made it and just made it look indie. But yeah, Dredge should be up there.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
Best RPG. This is the one I personally have a problem with, just because the nominees are Baldur's Gate 3,
Makes sense.
Final Fantasy 16,
Makes sense.
Lies of P,
Makes sense.
Sea of Stars, and Starfield. I think that is a very heavy Western RPG lean.
Yeah.
Like, I think one of the best RPGs of the year is Octopath 2, which isn't here. I probably, in my own personal ranking, would put it quality-wise above a couple of those.
Yeah.
But also it depends, like we said this a bit earlier before the recording, it depends on your definition of the RPG and what you view as being an RPG.
Yeah.
I have more of a lean towards the JRPG side of RPGs.
Yeah.
So I see it as a higher quality RPG
But
than something like Starfield, which might be a higher quality Western RPG.
Right.
What I think is weird in there as well is like I think Lies of P is real towing the line of RPG as well.
That's what I think. I think like you could easily pop that into action over really most of the nominees.
It's because realistically, an RPG, I feel like you have to have some sort of characterization. Yeah, you can dress this person up and you can like build the stats. It's the same as any like Souls game, and your choices do have outcomes. But half the time, you're not really sure what you're doing. You're going, it's not really like you develop the character. The character is just the character. So yeah.
But best action adventure is a bit of a bloodbath, depending on how you rank it and what you think is the best game.
Which number do you think is the best one between 1 and 5?
3.
Yeah, you would.
So what was that? Was it the Resident 4 remake?
Resident 4
What were the options there?
Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resi 4, Jedi Survivor, and Tears of the Kingdom. Depending on if you're picking the best game or the best action-adventure game, I think that's a weird category.
Action-adventure is really hard. Like, what's the difference between an action and then an action-adventure game?
Action, I think, is more...
But then, where because it sounds like you got your action games, you got your RPG games, and then somewhere in between, you've got these action-adventure games.
Basically, yeah. Like, action is something... This is the thing. We've just gone through the action-adventure nominees. I will read out the action nominees, and to me, I see the difference between those lists of games in terms of their content. So, like, action game is Armored Core, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2.
So, speed and blood.
It's more explicitly, like, high action, high pace, more combat focused, whereas action adventure is more like exploratory.
You've also got some okay,
story focused. Yeah,
makes sense. But yeah, what we all know is that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to take most of the awards. Alan Wake 2 will take a couple of things here and there, and then we just got to hope the Dredge does well for indie categories.
I just want Dredge to win.
Yeah,
I love it.
But yeah, so that's probably been the big news of this month because you got those bits floating around. I'll hand over to Karis. Found something that that me and Darren had not heard of.
This is not really.
It's not news, but I just thought I'd let you
I
talk
like
about
it.
It was like a cool thing. Okay, so like I've got a little news article in front of me because I don't know this game well enough to tell you like how it works and stuff. I've never played it. I just thought it was cool. So basically, a bunch of modders have turned Minecraft into and I say this with air bunnies. realistic
Yeah.
World War II game.
I love that.
Sounds awesome.
Essentially, they tried to recreate in Minecraft like this really intense, like World War II RPG experience.
Cool.
So they wanted like combat, explosions, like they made customizable loadouts.
Love it.
Lovely. Yeah.
And it's called the Block Front. Okay, the mod
Obviously.
called the Block Front.
Obviously.
And it's supposed to have like realistic terrain and buildings modeled after Stalingrad and Normandy.
Cool.
Interesting.
A variety of World War II weapons
Lovely.
and vehicles. And basically, it wanted to recreate an atmospheric action game resembling Call of Duty and Battlefield. Apparently, in order to make it a good option for Minecraft players who were seeking more intense gameplay on Minecraft. So modding is something people in Minecraft do quite often. They've done like horror things, they've done action things, it's not uncommon.
Are you trying to check a phone picture?
I'm looking for something else. There's a game that came out recently, which is like a Battlefield style shooter with the more blocky voxel appearance of Minecraft.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Block front.
But yeah, this was basically came out from a Reddit user called AJ Cyril D DY, I don't know, who shared a video of this mod, and it literally shows like parts of combat with loads of explosions and environmental destruction. There's a bit that features combat where somebody's literally fighting someone with a gun with a katana. And
realistic then.
Flying. There's clashes between people in tanks. There's NPCs shouting German. And
Like the language or just the word?
No, you just point them out.
German!
It's like, there they are, there they are.
one of the Redditors have said that the mod kind of resembles like older Call of Duty games.
That's cool.
That's cool.
And lots of people have just said that they really liked it.
It's just good fun.
It was just fun. It was not meant to be anything serious. It was not meant to be. It was just. But apparently the modders have done a really, really good job, and it's like really entertaining to play. So I just thought that was a cool little thing that people had done.
Yeah, I found the game I was looking for. It's called BattleBit.
Okay.
It's described in this forum as an arcadey Battlefield-esque FPS with highly destructible environments, vehicles, and air support, and servers with up to 254 players.
That's stupid.
Oh my god!
It's like Battlefield and Squad had a Minecraft baby.
Nice.
I want to play it. It looks amazing.
What's crazy is that sounds like it's gonna that had a better launch than Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah,
Which
I mean, everything did.
I mean,
Fucking Challenger rocket had a better launch than Modern Warfare 3.
Modern Warfare 3. Honestly, it's one of the worst reviewed Modern Warfares that have come out in a long time. The campaign, I think, got a 4, pretty much across the board, and the multiplayer's only got a 6, which is pretty bad. People I know playing it have enjoyed it, but I have a lot of issues with it.
Yeah.
So when it came out, it was a big update, even if you had Modern Warfare 2 and hadn't bought it. Understandable, I went, fine, that's okay. Downloaded it, go in to play the game, and they've actually uninstalled all of Modern Warfare 2. All the old games are going, oh, you're going to play Modern Warfare 3 now. You can't delete Modern Warfare 3.
Nope.
But you can reinstall Modern Warfare 2. But you still have to go through all the Modern Warfare 3s to get to Modern Warfare 2. And it takes up almost 200 gigs in space.
I went in when that update came up, and it was like, oh, you don't have space. This requires 101 gigs. And I'm like, why are you making me download 101 gigs for a game I don't own?
Yeah.
Like, you're just doing this to set the framework with the belief I will buy it.
No, it's also doing it to falsify download figures.
Ah.
So it's the most downloaded game ever because they've basically cheated things.
So shitty.
It's really bad. It's really bad. So because of that, I've deleted Modern Warfare off of my PlayStation, and I must have had 500-600 hours into that game. Like I played a lot of time on that game.
It's barely hanging on for me,
and it just doesn't deserve it. But you haven't installed the update, mate.
No.
So you can't even play it.
Nope.
But yeah, Modern Warfare 3, terrible launch. I've got some other bits and pieces that I just thought I'd go through with you.
Go for it.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So you were going to talk briefly about Assassin's Creed. I'll let you talk about the nice bit, and then I'm going to talk about the bad bit.
Oh, I know what the bad bit is, but I will talk about the nice bit. This came out, and I think this is really cool. That the next Assassin's Creed game, I think it's the next one. I don't know what.
Is it Red?
Assassin's Creed Red.
Yeah,
which is the Japan one.
I think it's next year's.
Has announced that it will have 2 playable characters. And apparently one of the playable characters is the first assassin who is actually a real person.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So they're actually going a bit more historically
Yeah.
based.
Okay.
So this was a... limited historical knowledge to know about them. It's a samurai. I don't know the actual word, but they're not quite a samurai.
Right, okay.
Yasuke, who is a man from Portuguese West Africa, which is now Mozambique.
Right.
Who I believe was taken to India to be a servant, and then he served as a retainer under Oda Nobunaga, and he's known as the first black samurai.
Okay.
That's really cool.
That is very cool.
And I mainly know about him because he is a boss in Neo.
Right.
So I recognise the name and I recognise the story.
That's cool.
But apparently there's going to be him and then a female ninja who's avenging her family, and they start as enemies before teaming up to sort of support the reunification of Japan, because it's during the Shogun era.
That almost makes you want to play as both characters.
Yeah, I just think it's cool that it's actually a real person, and they went into it and went, oh, you can play as this real guy, and I'm hoping they have real assassins in there, like Hattori Hanzo, real ninjas, cool stuff like that, because the Japan setting, people have been asking for it for so long, and it has so much cool background that would fit.
It has, and then everyone was concerned because of Ghost of Tsushima. Everyone was like, "It's gonna be comparisons to this the whole way through." But I'm excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But I really do feel like Japanese, historical Japanese, has really been pushed a bit more into the front line again.
Yeah. The one thing I do like, especially about that sort of focus area, and talking about the difference between this and Tsushima, essentially, is that there's so much more history. It's not just everyone going, "Oh, we're going to do feudal Japan, shogunate Japan." Tsushima is years and years before that, focusing on the Mongol invasions, and you could go further back than that still. There's just so many cool settings because it's such an interesting landscape as well.
It's because it's islands as well, and there are multiple, and they have a bunch of biomes in there. It's like if you did something in New Zealand, it'd be really cool because you've got the multiple biomes in there. It's just
I thought that. I watched gameplay recently of, funny enough, talking about fucking Call of Duty, a game I haven't played, which is back in the day, World at War.
Right.
And it looked so much more interesting as a setting for a first-person shooter because it's in the Pacific Islands. So it's more rainforesty, much brighter, and there's temples and castles and things. And it's just, I wish they did more with it, rather than at the minute we just have a lot of, in the modern warfares, of course, because it's modern, sand and city. Yeah.
Brown. But so it's pretty cool for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
But what was pretty bad for Assassin's Creed was people were starting to get pop-ups whilst playing.
Yeah.
Pop-up adverts. They were playing, they would pause the game, and there'd be an advert for a different Assassin's Creed game that if you pushed it, it would take you to the store to buy it.
Yeah.
They have now since come out and said, oh, it was a technical issue. We've resolved this problem.
Yeah.
But it's weird that it happened during Black Friday.
Yeah.
Come buy our other Assassin's Creed. And it was mainly on the new one, wasn't it? It was on Mirage that it was happening. Or was it all games?
I thought it was...
Oh, it was Odyssey, or was it?
I thought it was older ones advertising
Sure, Mirage. It was, yeah, because the advert was 20% off of Mirage.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's really bad. And then they pretended it wasn't their fault, and you're like,
that's no.
I'm on the fence about it because I can see it. When you see the screen, I've seen that screen come up when you start up the game before.
Yes, yeah.
And I can easily see that, some random line of code, as a coder in life, I've many a time called the wrong fucking thing. And then it starts to go, whoops.
Yeah. It does sound very much like somebody in the background going, okay, my bad.
But also, when you open up your inventory and it brings you up an ad, I can see that they
were just trying to get to the map, and you're just trying to click the next point. It just
maybe it was a my bad that turned into a but this could make us money. So
but everyone loves making money, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Last of Us and Naughty Dog. They're now doing a remaster of Part 2, which feels completely unnecessary.
I'm fine with it because I'm 22.
Hang on a minute. Now, the Last of Us 2 is quite recent.
Last was Part 2.
3 years?
Why did
it wasn't on PS5, it was on PS4, wasn't it?
2020,
See, this is what I don't get. This brings me back to the fucking movie argument I was saying earlier. I really think that if it's come out in the last 10 years, it does not need a fucking remaster. I'm really sorry.
I got, so I was a bit on the fence with The Last of Us Part 1, but the remaster they did of that was really good. They did a really good job there. But because I was like, oh man, this is like Last of Us Part 2. It's feels like that. And now they've gone, oh, Last of Us 2 Part 2, we're going to make it play like Last of Us Part 1. You're like, it already does.
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary.
It does feel really...
I will, however, probably spend £10 and play it again because I love the game.
I'm in two minds about it. I also agree that I don't think that game is old enough to need to be remade.
Yeah.
I, however, haven't played The Last of Us Part 2. I own it.
You know
I haven't
what?
played it.
Can people just stop remaking things that are really recent and give me the fucking Alice Madness Returns remake that I have been praying for years? Just fucking remake it and stop remaking all the other shit.
Well, this is the other thing I was going to say, is that it's not being produced by the main Naughty Dog team. They're working on something else. They've brought people in specifically to make this, and I think it is off the back of the TV show being so popular, and I can see them probably making, like, season 2 of the TV show, which folds into Last of Us 2.
Right.
So people who are getting into it now during
They're
the
trying to
age
push-
of the PS5,
Yeah.
they just released Last of Us Part 1, they now
Financially,
remaster Last of Us
I
Part 2.
completely understand it. It's just part of me goes, oh, it
It's
feels like a
also
cash
got
grab.
new stuff in it. You see that? It's got roguelike levels in it.
Yeah,
That sounds fucking cool.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna get on it, but
I'm
it's just...
going to pay the £10 because I own it but haven't played it. But also, like,
Yeah.
why?
I've got 4 more bits just to go through quickly.
for it.
Legend of Zelda, we talked about briefly. That's had a movie
Do you
announced.
remember when we had a conversation in the car on the way here and we said we thought the Freebies episode was going to be quite short?
Yeah, there's so much news.
Well, it's because you guys weren't going to talk about any bloody games. You haven't played anything, Karis.
I've got things to talk about.
Legend of Zelda movie's been announced. They're going to be making a Legend of Zelda movie. I know Machine Gun Kelly said that he'd better be playing fucking Link, and everyone
What the
laughed.
fuck does this man think he is?
I hope that Link has no voice lines throughout the entire movie except, hey-ya! Please.
Have you got any opinion on who you'd want to be?
I did think about it, and I
Not
don't
Machine
remember.
Gun Kelly.
Jack Black for everything. Cool. If
I
it's,
want Jack Black Ganondorf would be cool.
I'd be concerned if they made it animated. It'd be Chris Pratt because he's the voice of everyone.
Someone said
Stop putting
that,
Chris
like,
Pratt in things.
He's now Garfield as
Yeah.
well.
as
stop
much
putting
as
him in
you like
things.
put modern actors into things, if he hadn't just starred in a kind of average Uncharted movie,
Tom Holland.
Holland's about the right sort of
Build,
size and
yeah.
face shape
Tom Holland. I
to
think
be
he's
that
great.
role.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
Yeah. 90s Leonardo DiCaprio. Thank you.
Right, we'll go back in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking
couldn't do it now.
Talking of someone
now.
else who'd be like sort of a small, slight figure that could have worked was Timothée Chalamet. Could have been that sort of thing.
Yeah, but he kind of looks like an old medieval shoe.
What?
Look up a picture of a medieval shoe and tell me that's
Okay,
not
I will
Timothée
check it out.
Chalamet.
I will check it out afterwards because
For
I'm
our
actually.
audience at home, the interactive element of the podcast
This
is
is
here.
not my joke. I found this on the internet. Somebody said that he looked like a medieval shoe, put up a comparison, and I was like, that is actually quite
When I
uncanny.
upload the episode, it asks me if I want to put questions on the Spotify, and I'll put, do you think Timothée Chalamet?
Yeah, we'll
looks
just do
like a
that.
medieval
That
shoe?
sounds
Yeah.
good. But he was actually meeting with Hideo Kojima the other day, so there's rumours that he's going to be in Death Stranding 2,
That'd be
which
fun.
would be really fucking cool.
Oh, I saw that might be announced for 2025.
That's
There were like 3
interesting.
things I saw that might be announced at the Game Awards. I can't remember what one of them was. One of them was Death Stranding 2. One of them was God of War DLC.
Do you want to talk about another thing that might be announced?
Hell yeah.
GTA 6 apparently released trailer
saw
early
that.
December.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hasn't that been being released for the
No,
last
there has
century?
been genuine movement
They
this
said it.
month.
Oh, okay.
Rockstar said it.
Yeah,
They
so
said there will be a trailer.
we are getting GTA 6 stuff. I'm not one of those people like GTA 6. I don't care. Like
No.
if it shows up, great. If it doesn't, I don't care.
I
I'm
think
happy where we
it
are.
is a lesson in don't announce your games too early.
Yeah.
If this was the first we heard about GTA 6, there would be no qualms, no problems. Everyone would be happier.
But everyone knew there was a GTA 6. The second GTA
That's
5 was
fine,
made.
but as soon
wasn't
as
it?
they say it,
Yeah.
you start the expectations.
There
clock.
was
This is why Cyberpunk failed.
There was something in. There was apparently there's some sort of Italian-based outlet that apparently is sort of potentially released. It's actually coming next year.
That'd be cool.
Which would be really good. So that was fun. And then I also want to talk about Baldur's Gate 3 is actually getting a physical release finally here.
Yay.
So Play Asia's doing one for Asian markets, but we're finally getting one over here. Quarter 1 2024,
Yes. Cool.
which you have to buy directly from their studios.
That's fine.
Which is fine. You can pre-order it now, and it comes with, I think, a 3-disc soundtrack. It comes with a mat. It comes like a map, like one of those, and a bunch of other shit. So,
I just hope it comes with the game.
do we want to talk about the worst game of the year contender from Game Mails, or just go, yep, they've made another shit
They
game?
made another shit game.
It's a Walking Dead game.
Yeah,
Who'd have
it's
fucking
bad.
thought?
Oh, but it's so funny to watch. It's so funny to watch. The clips. Josh has shown me some clips. He showed me and Darren some clips just so that we could really... It's a bit like this because it's made by the same people who did
It's
Kong's
distributed by the
Skunk
same one.
Island. And, what?
I thought you said Kong Skunk Islands.
Kong Skunk Island. No, and Josh wanted to for us to really get an accurate picture of how bad this was.
It's bad.
And it's really bad.
It's real
I
bad.
don't know if it's as bad as the clip of Skull Island that you showed us,
The
because that was
JPEG.
physically just a brilliant clip. But it's up there.
Oh, it's one of the worst games of the year.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just can't work out.
This one did look slightly more like a game. I'll give it that credit.
It did. It looked like it'd watched what people were playing in Dead by Daylight. Went, let's make this a first-person game, and then it didn't really work.
Yeah. It's like, this is a game. Just
Yeah.
out.
Anyway, talking of games, should we talk about what we've been playing this month?
Talking of games on our game podcast.
Yeah, talking of
How
bad,
fucking dare
Wow.
talking of bad games. Should we talk about what we've been playing this month? I don't think people have been playing bad games this month. No. I don't.
we? Playing good games.
I do think we've all sort of
Well,
just
mine's partly games, partly news, I guess. So
we just done news.
yeah, I know, but it's a bit of both.
Time for
Yeah,
olds.
no. What I will say before we get into what we've been playing is obviously all our legacy streams have just changed this month as well.
Yeah,
which is interesting because
I
Sekiro's.
do want to kind of give some explanation to
bad
mine
games.
when we can.
That's right. We can go into that. So yeah, Sekiro has ended. Dark Souls 2 has begun. Kingdom Hearts 2 has ended, and Kingdom Hearts
It's Birth by Sleep time.
Birth by Sleep is starting just
I don't
after
like
the
this
episode
game
comes.
very much.
You don't like this game,
Yeah.
fair enough. And talking of don't liking games,
I just want to put a real apology out there to anyone who in the Resident Evil fan base who I feel like probably quite rightly are going to crucify me for this. But I have made the executive decision to kind of go straight to Resident Evil 2 remake because I fucking hate the first Resident Evil. And no, that's harsh. That's harsh. I don't hate it. When I
can't
play
believe
it,
you could see a host actually lose their position on the podcast so
when
quickly.
when I've played it, I've enjoyed it.
Said a lot of cancelable things,
for
but fucking
me,
hell.
for me, there is not enough structure to that game for it to be enjoyable for me.
I would argue that I think just the way it's put together, with it being the fixed cam and stuff like
Yeah.
that, with no map and you being very directionally challenged,
Yeah.
it's just
It
an
just-
impossibility for
And,
you.
and the thing is, when I get it, and I've done things like I've fought a couple of bosses in it, I've got a couple of puzzles and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is great, but I spend so much time just wandering around the castle and the mansion even. And the worst thing about it is that because it's not a linear game, like for example, the last time I was on the stream, I ran out of ribbons to save, and I'd gotten through so much stuff. And I was saying to myself, oh, I'll go back and redo it. And I thought, I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm going to end up somewhere that's going to take me down a different path. And I just thought, this is fucking impossible. I just got to the point where I was just dreading doing it. And every time a stream came up and I'd had like a bit of a bad day, I was like, this is the last thing I want to fucking do.
Very much a different vibe than the other games after it. Like, even 2 and 3 are slightly more, not streamlined as such, but they condense the area
Yeah.
and the puzzles are a bit more
And there's a map.
Yeah. But one comes straight off the back of like the original concept in the
Yes.
fucking 80s.
Yeah.
So-
So it's almost like the sort of old Sierra point and click levels.
You can,
Yeah.
where
you
you're
can see where it you can see this is the birth of Resident
Yeah.
Evil. There's enough in
Yeah.
there. You see why this made
it's a
it.
lot of
Yeah.
like,
And I
you need
think-
to fucking be in it.
Well, yeah, and I think the streams that I did do, especially right at the beginning, I really enjoyed exploring it. I just think it's gotten to the point now where it's actually putting me off doing something I enjoy, which is streaming.
Yeah, what's crazy is I played this when it first came out on players, and you don't question it at that point because that's how games were.
Yeah.
We've just advanced in how games should be.
Like, I always felt bad for not enjoying it because I tried it a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get as far as you did. But I had the very similar thing of just, I don't know where the fuck I'm meant to be going or
Yeah.
how to get there.
And that's an issue for me. It's an issue for me. I need
think
to
the
go. I
benefit-
need to know where
the
what I
benefit
want to
you'll
do.
gain from 2, at least, that 2 has a clearer line
Yeah.
of progression.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bit complex of how you get there, it's you need
And
to
it's-
get to this area.
and it's the best Resi game for me.
Yeah.
I'm
a lot of
excited
people would
to
agree.
try it. I'll be honest with you, 2 is one
no sense,
that
but-
again
2 is one?
I did.
I love maths.
Me too. I started my Resident Evil little journey on 4, so I've actually never played 2 before.
Yeah.
I've played a little bit of the remake when it first came out because Josh had it on his PlayStation. I just had a little go, and I did enjoy what I played of it. And it's definitely a bit spookier, so I can
Yeah.
expect a lot of screaming. And I'm excited to start it, but I have to leave the original Resident Evil in the past, I'm afraid.
That's fine. But so to get past all of those streamy, scary times, you've been playing much more chill game of.
Lovely time.
Well, I've been dipping in and out out of things. Just things that I've played in the past. I haven't started anything new. Again, I've had a lot going on. I finished my masters this month.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a fair reason. Yeah, look at Darren doing his
loser.
Darren doing his doctorate. I'm sat here with just my degree.
And yeah, that's taken up a lot of my time, just kind of like being, and then being a teacher. And starting to be a hench bodybuilder now. By the way, I'm not actually bodybuilding. I'm just going to the gym. I've not.
This is a big ramp up for a real disappointment.
Yeah, I have ADHD. I've just been dipping out of things for comfort, really. And the reason I mentioned the Alice remake earlier on is because I dipped in and out of that when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, and I just never ever stop enjoying that game. It's so fucking good. It's so good. And it was nice to go back on a PS3 for a little while. That was like nostalgic for me. But the big one I wanted to talk about, as usual, was I started playing Disney Dreamlight Valley again. And it's more because I wanted to kind of see how this is going to progress, because the DLC is coming out on December 5th. And it's a huge DLC, which I'm really excited for, because it comes with basically an entire new world. It comes with like 4 new biomes. It comes with new characters, and they're mostly villains as well. So like Gaston is coming in. The main storyline revolves around Jafar, which I'm like, fucking great. I love Jafar. He's the queer camp little man I need in my life.
He's quite tall.
Can you get the platinum in that game yet?
No,
you can't, because it's still believe it or not, still early access.
There's still not enough people.
Yeah, and it just looks like it's going to be really cool. It looks like it's bringing in a new royal tool. It's bringing in it's basically another Disney Dreamlight Valley on top of it.
I can't wait for me to go, I better get the platinum on that and waste 200 years of my life.
I'm really excited because I really enjoy it.
Bought on PC.
I'm very excited about it. Eve is coming in as well from Wall-E.
Oh, Eve Online?
Yeah, love that.
You can now do it's now massive space exploration. Yeah, you can pay for
You now go to a computer in Disney Dreamlight Valley and play Eve Online.
You get to play a new board game, which I will be avoiding with people. But yeah, it just looks really cool. I've been dipping in and out of it. There's no real new storylines in there at the moment because they're waiting for the DLC to come out.
And that's what December it comes out.
December 5th. It is paid for. It's not free. But
they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Well,
the game hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah. I mean, bear in mind that...
That is Fortnite.
It was originally going to be free to play, and then it wasn't free to play for a while, and then they realized that people were actually paying money for things, so they've decided to just not make it free to play.
Oh, Disney, you
so
who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
There's not a lot to purchase there, though, to be fair. It's just like buying moonstones if you want extra access to shit, and
yeah, it's basically microtransaction shit. Yeah, second currency.
Yeah.
Darren, you've been working through a lot of crap.
I planned every game under the sun
this
month. Most of them were fine. not bad, just there's nothing worth talking about there.
You don't want to talk about any of your games you played this month?
I want to talk about one in particular. I'll go with like a couple of the others. I finished Judgment. That platinum's a fucking slog.
But it is. It's a Yakuza-based game.
It is a Yakuza-based game. We platinumed Modern Warfare 2.
We did go back and do that to finish that.
That was good fun. That took a while.
I mean, it didn't take too long to actually... We had all the trophies. We just needed like 3 more on the co-op ones. And
we needed the co-op ones. 2 of them were relatively easy. One of them, we somehow kept fucking up.
Yes.
Repeatedly.
Was that the one we weren't meant to know? Yeah. I mean, you say we...
It was a mixture. It was mostly me. Because there were like a set of NPCs that were just... had no discernible pattern.
Yeah.
So I drop down, do the start bit, drop off the roof, and it's literally 50-50 to whether they're facing me or not.
It was also the fact that I'd watched a video and I was trying to direct Darren, who was in a different location to me, so I couldn't see what he was doing about what he needed to do.
Yeah. But the main one I was going to talk about is a lovely little life simmy, work simmy game, which is My Time at Porsche. The reason I went through and platinumed this month is because it was being removed from PS Plus. And
Bad PlayStation Plus.
I forgot it was being removed until like a week before, and I basically speedran a life sim.
Which is
it's not great because that game is a lot of just waiting.
Yeah.
And there are parts of it where I got really annoyed with myself about halfway through my endeavour when I realised I'd forgotten to do something I should have been doing from the beginning. So I then had to go through and work out how to make that happen faster. Basically, you have to marry 2 specific people for trophies.
Right.
And one of them is quite difficult because he doesn't like much, and I've forgotten to start.
Right.
So I then had to start trying to build up his hearts.
To be able to marry him.
Yeah. But I think I platinumed it at 11:30 p.m. the day before it was removed.
Cut it fine then.
Yeah.
Cut it fine.
Jesus.
But the game's fun. It's a nice little sort of... It's the same idea as like a Harvest Moon or a Stardew, but instead of running a farm, you run a workshop. So you go into mines or around the local area, you gain resources, which you then use to build things for people, you take on commissions. The main story of the game is you're trying to help the mayor build up Portia. So you build up like essentially a taxi service. The water source gets contaminated, so you have to build a lift to get up to where the contaminant's coming from. It's got little dungeon areas. You build a bridge to another area. You build like a new mini town. You build a mine.
Okay.
And it's good fun. It does something I really like, where about 2/3 of the way through the game it introduces a new building which automates everything, and that's fucking grand, because you have 5 different types of like machine you use, and you get a factory where you put all the machines in one building, and instead of having to build each individual piece of each individual item, you just go, make me one item, and then walk
That's
away.
really good.
And a amount of time later, it just goes, here's the thing. You go, cheers. But it means you can just set it to just make shit, instead of you having to go and like, oh, I've gone
Physically
to this machine,
do
I
it.
have to smelt the particular bars, I have to take them to this machine to smelt the plates, to then put into this work table to get the item. You just go, make me item, and it does that all automatically, which I think is what more things should do. I really like it.
That's
It's a
cool.
fun game.
I've gone back and I'm now trying to get a platinum in Skyrim, because why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
It's a fun game.
It is a fun game.
fun
I mean,
part.
I love Skyrim. I mean, I've just probably got rid of the sloggiest one in my mind, which is restoring
Thieves
the
Guild.
Thieves Guild to...
It's fucking ages.
The worst bit is, like, I started a new character for this run to try and do it all,
Yeah.
and I always get the second trophy and, like, going up, but I
Yeah.
never go and do this, because it's like, well, you need to do them in 5 specific areas, but they're not going to give you those jobs in those areas, and so you have to drop the thing, go back. It's just a bit of a fucking nightmare, but I've got that.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm not playing it in the normal way. I'm not playing with bow and arrow. I'm playing it with one axe and a
You're not
shield.
a stealth archer?
No, I'm a Khajiit with an axe that does 800 damage, so I can one-shot dragons.
I like that a lot.
So I've made it much easier for myself. I'm like, "Dunk, that's enough for you." My carry capacity is over 3,000. So,
Good.
like, I've exploited a little bit to
Yeah.
just make it work easier. But I'm enjoying it. Why wouldn't I enjoy it? Because it's Skyrim and I've always loved it. But I have played 2 new games for this month. Not masses about. Probably about 2 hours into the first one. So
Yep.
Persona 5 Tactica came out this month, which is
It's Persona XCOM.
It's Persona XCOM. It's only about 30 to 40 hours, which I think a lot of people were disappointed at, because Persona itself is about 100 hours. But then you look at XCOM 2, and that's only 33 hours. So it's exactly the right
I think,
amount.
like, for that type of game, that's fine.
It overstays its welcome if you do it longer than that, and it becomes a
100%.
chore. It's fine. You can use your Persona abilities on people. It's got the standard sort of like move
Yeah.
around, control your party. It plays like an XCOM. It plays like a Mario Rabbids. It plays like,
Yeah.
any of those sort of games. And it's really cute. Like, I showed Keris some of the
art
designs. The
style
art
is very
style
charming.
is real charming. It's like
Yeah,
those thick
yeah.
outer lines and
Very
stuff.
cool. It's very
Yeah.
cute.
They've got all the original voice cast again, which is
great.
fun. But basically, this one works up. You basically start off, you're in the shop having a go away, and then you get pulled into the metaverse unexpectedly. You go in, and now it's to do with kingdoms. And there's a person called Lady
cool.
Maria who wants to control everything. She takes all of your friends away from you,
no.
apart from Mona. Oh my god,
That's a shame.
That's a shame. And then you team up with another person who you've got part of this rebel alliance, essentially, to try and overthrow her. And I think the idea is you're going to slowly get your people,
people back.
back.
Did you guys not like Mona?
Mona's probably my least favourite.
I was gonna
Mona
no,
was
second least
okay.
favourite for me.
Who's a fox?
No, I don't mind him. I fucking hate Futaba.
Oh really?
I don't like her at all.
That's fair enough. But yeah, Mona's always like, yeah, I want this, or I'm gonna fuck that woman. You're like, you're a cat. Stop being a creep.
He also just abuses Ryuji, who's
He does.
best boy.
I like Ryuji.
He's the
great.
best.
I like Richie.
He's a sweetie.
But yeah, it's good fun. It's cute. I like the story in it. I'm gonna give it a bit more go. You said it was potentially gonna be your Christmas game, Darren.
Yeah,
if you do,
like, I might pick up around Christmas time.
I think it's a perfect Christmas game where you can have a lovely time doing it. And also because it's tactics. The only issue with it is the same thing you get with all Persona games, which is you get trapped in these massive sequences and can't save. Although you don't have to go into a save room, you just have to press save. You just can't do it because you're constantly going battle, 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 battle. And you're like, well, I'm sort of stuck here for a bit.
No, I basically have a yearly tradition where on like 2 days after Christmas, I take all the money I've acquired and I just go and buy new games to play over that break.
Yeah.
And I think last year I had Sonic and... No, a bit later on, I did Need for Speed and Midnight Suns as well.
Yeah.
I basically pick up like my big ones of the year that I've missed.
And do it that way.
A couple weeks, I just mash them out.
Which is a great game. Really like it. It's probably my top 10 right now. And the other one I played is Headbangers Rhythm Royale.
Oh
Really
my
want to
God.
try it.
So I'm
so
going to try and
funny.
encourage everyone I know who's got a PlayStation to buy it on PlayStation so we can play together.
Yeah.
But it's a 30-person battle royale where you play as a pigeon and it's all rhythm-based
Hell yeah.
games. And
As soon as I heard the concept, I'm like, man,
literally,
all in.
it's you're a ball with a long line for a neck. It's really poor, and you could buy like a bunch of different outfits for you. Right now, my guy's got some sunglasses, a beanie. He's wearing like a onesie singlet and like a big old like wrestling armor pads on it, and he's got some headphones on. He looks like a cool dude. But basically, you've got 4 rounds, and it's always 4 rounds. So you know, like Fall Guys, you sometimes get
Depends
caught in
how
this
many people
cycle with
there
like
are.
9 in. They go, this many people are qualifying, and like one of them was you singing like the French national anthem.
Oh, it was great.
And like I was playing on Xbox controller, so it was like A, X, and Y. So A is like the small mouth, X is the middle mouth, Y is the big mouth, and you're doing these. But then you can also pull in like effects in that fly across, but everyone's able to pull it in. So whoever gets it first gets to use it, and it attacks certain people to make it harder. But you're doing that when you have to sing it in time. Whoever's got the worst sort of accuracy gets knocked out, the worst 10. There's other ones which are like a quick draw one where you're like a Western and you have to listen for... It shows you a picture of like a mouse and then it puts a cacophony of noises. The second you hear like a squeak, you have to fire. And whoever loses is out of 7. And then there's a bunch of other ones. It's like a garden party where everyone's singing.
Yeah.
And it's like, copy it. It's like, do, 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 do. And then it goes in and you're like, dun, dun, trying to hit it in time. It's good fun. You go all the way through.
The voice acting in it made me absolutely fucking howl. Josh was playing this like Western shootout one. The you hear the noise and you've got to press it. And this other guy was really quick. And every time Josh was like, "Oh no, I've lost him," go, "You lose."
It was honestly I played that one twice. I won the second time, I think 6-1. I lost 6-1 on the first one because I was doing it and I was like doing it in like 0.35 seconds. This guy was doing it in 0.2. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not humanly able to do it. And then the last round, I don't know if it's always the last round, but the last round was like a record playing, so it's like playing like 80s music, and it's got like 4 layers, and you've got to push all the buttons that match it, almost like a Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
But if you miss it, you just have to wait for it to come around again to hit them again, so you got to get through like 3 records. It was good fun. But like I finished second because someone completed it before me, but they let the others complete it. So like there's a top 4,
cool.
so you get a first, second, third, and fourth. So you still get something rather than here's a winner and you're a loser, and you're like, oh, that's a bit shit. So I like this. This is a new change to what Fall Guys was. I could easily see it replacing that as like an easy, casual, fun game.
It reminds me a lot of there was an old DS game which was like little rhythm mini games that you played like the touchscreen, and it gives me that vibe where it's very like silly, very sort of fun, different ways of interpreting that rhythm idea. Like one of the ones I remember from that is you were in the crowd of a singer and you had to clap on certain beats.
Right,
if she
yes.
said certain things. And one of those still plagues my fucking brain to this day.
I think it's similar
I do
to
as like
that.
a reactive tick.
Right.
Like, respond to a certain like phrase in the way in that game, and I hate it. I can't fucking help myself.
You've been Pavloved.
I have. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing this month. I wasn't expecting to play many ones. I did want to play Thirsty Suitors as well, because that was also on Game Pass and came out. And
What the fuck is Thirsty Suitors?
it's like...
Why does it
Don't know
sound
quite
like
how
you've
to
been
describe
on
it.
like
I
some
don't
kind
know how
of
to describe it.
website?
I will
Let's see how
work...
the internet describes
Well,
it.
it describes Thirsty Suitors.
Yeah.
I think it is a game about lesbian love.
See, I got gay, but male gay from that.
Thirsty Sue is apparently just an adventure video game.
There we go.
Well, there we
But
go.
yeah, it looks...
Returns to her hometown for a sister's wedding and must navigate her relationships with her family and former paramours.
Yeah. It looks interesting enough to give it a go. And I remember seeing it going, oh, that looks fun. And then it came out free, so I thought I'd give it a go.
Yeah, why not?
But yeah, should we move on to PS Plus?
Let's
move on to the PS Plus this month. Firstly, good or bad?
Bad.
Dad,
We
Darren.
knew you were going to do this. We knew you were going to do this.
This is clearly the worst month they've done this year.
I'm inclined to not agree.
Oh my god!
Is it a bad or a good month, though?
I think it leans towards bad, but I think it's a lot more fun. It's one of the easier top 7s I've written.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, oh my god.
Most of them I write 3 and I have to struggle for the rest. This I very easily went, I enjoyed 7 games here.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's got no fucking top end.
No.
It's
Yeah.
got no top end to it, and that's not great.
Yeah.
Most of them have like a big hitter. Very easily, though, I enjoyed everything I played.
What I think they've done this month, and it sounds weird, that they're trying to push PS Premium.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree,
Premium had a
but
good
I
month
feel like
this
the
month,
Premium had
was
a
odd.
lot of like good old titles.
Yeah.
To go, hey,
Yeah.
spend that little bit extra. It's Black Friday. Pay a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really
That
worth
makes
it.
sense, actually. Yeah, I know
But it
that does.
wasn't good for the like essential and
No, it had no. I mean, I don't
I
think
enjoyed
Essential was
some.
bad.
But no, but like, I looked at it.
Essential was
immediately.
weird, but I don't think it was excessively bad.
I don't think it was good personally.
But I don't think it's the worst month, just because I think it's. I had fun with a lot of what I played.
But you-
I've had months where I've struggled more to go like, oh, I like these 3 a lot, and everything else is kind of.
Yeah.
But you would argue it was if you had to say if it's good
If
or
I
bad.
had to say good or bad, I'd say bad.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that,
Because
I
it's got
always
no
kind of-
like knockout punch of a game.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's for someone who is like much more casual gamer than you two. I always kind of put it on a marker of like, if I read the descriptions of them, do I fancy playing it? And I didn't. I mean, the only ones that the ones in my top 3 that I've put in, I was like, yeah, okay, one of them I played already, and the other 2 I was like, yeah, I could give those a go, but they were few and far between for things that I thought, I'm really interested.
That's the thing.
in that,
For
you know?
me, if I went by that metric, it was a good month for me.
Yeah,
It was a lot of
okay.
like, I read the description of a game I'd never heard of and went, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it, that sounds fun.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
And there were a couple of things, like, I'm biased, there were a couple of things I was looking at buying anyway that popped up, and I was like, grand. Hell yeah.
so should we have a little look at
Our champions.
our championed games then? Do you want to start with yours, Karis, as you said, it's ones you've played,
Yes. Okay. So my
and you've gone for a
champion game-
premium game.
I have. My champion game of this month is the amazing Parappa the Rapper 2.
High art.
A really highbrow game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good fun.
I like
It's
Parappa.
It is.
Headbangers, Rhythm Royale.
I like a rhythm game.
I mean,
They're
listen,
fun.
I have not played this game for probably about 10 years now, if not more. And it is just stupid fun. That's all you can say about Parappa the Rapper. I mean, I love the plot of the second one. I played more of the second one than I did of the first one. And basically after like getting his lifetime supply of noodles, Parappa the Rapper is sick of eating noodles all
Hell
the
yeah.
time. And his crush gives him noodles, he saves him noodles, and he complains about it because all he ever eats is noodles, and his crush calls him a baby, and he gets really upset about this and decides to go in search of other foods, mostly burgers.
Amazing.
And
Of diverse palettes.
yes, yeah. And
That's a real PS1 ass plot.
yes, yeah. And I'll be honest
Really
with you,
is.
a lot of the songs, there is an absolute banger of a song about making burgers.
Nice.
There are a lot of bangers in
There's
this.
a lot of bangers in Parappa the Rapper. It is a really fun way to sink a few hours into absolutely nothing, is what I would say. It's good fun. It's stupid. It's not meant to be taken seriously.
If you've never played Parappa the Rapper, just to clarify, they are all like paper people, and they do like
Yes.
weird turns.
Yeah.
Like
Very odd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're all animals. There's not a human in sight in the game. And yeah, I just think it's one of those games. It's an absolutely quintessential start of the PS2 era game.
Well, it's
I would
PS1,
say.
isn't it?
One of
No,
them.
it's PS2.
Is it?
PS2.
Yeah, it came out just after the release of PS2, I
Right,
believe.
Wow.
It is 2001. And
I thought it was older than that.
yeah, it's 2001. And yeah, it apparently was made available for PS4 in December of 2015. But
Yeah, which is
You can
probably,
probably
where-
buy it on the store.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Parappa the Rapper is Parappa the Rapper too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair enough. I'll go next just because we're going to do it in the order that they're going to be in the top 5 probably. So I've gone for Aliens Fireteam Elite
Yeah.
as my champion game. this came out originally to not much fanfare and a bit of people who played it seemed to like it, but no one picked it up.
All I ever heard about this is the people who played it really liked it, but found no one to play it with.
And that's the problem. Fortunately,
I thought about picking it up, but I didn't think anybody else I knew would pick it up.
Well, I mean, that's the good thing right now. Me, Darren, and Liv, sister, are currently playing. It's a 3-man fire squad, is how it works. And you are Marines playing through like a bunch of quests in a third-person cover shooter where you can have different classes and you're just fighting fucking xenomorphs in different versions and just having a bit of fun. It's got some little jumps in it where you get grabbed by them and you have to fight them off. But it's simple, easy shooting.
It's a real fucking middle of the road game. But sometimes that's all you want.
That's all it is. It reminds me of. I think it's just because it's third person cover shoot. It's like it's got that Gears of War feel, but like it's got that Gears of War horde mode feel at times where you're just like fighting them off. But playing with 3 people doing this, and if you don't have 3 people, they send in bots with you, and they've got. We've had Beta
the bot.
We've had Beta come in with us. We've also had Alpha, who was a bit more useful than Beta. They obviously went. They need a bit more help this time. But it's just simple, stupid, like shooty fun. Like there's not a brain cell going on.
I
in that
grew
game.
very attached to Peter.
Admittedly, we did die a lot in one spot because we were too stupid to realise we had to. We just stayed there and fought for hours when we were meant to move.
You meant to run.
We were meant to run. And we can take him.
The game didn't really tell you to run though. The only reason I picked up on it is because I turned around randomly and saw the marker at the back.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Bear in mind, there'd been no marker before then because we were just guarding an area. They just brought it and you didn't spot
and they put it behind you.
Yeah, that's that. We're not going to talk much more about it. It's just, it's
dumb fun.
If you have a couple of people you want to play a game with, recommend picking up and just shooting for a few hours. There's like 4 acts to this, and then I think you get like special versions of them. So we haven't completed the game, so we can't tell you what you need to do.
We will eventually, though.
Yes. Darren, what are you championing?
My champion game, I said to Josh, I'm like, I could champion like 4 fucking games. I love them all. What I went with the end was Superliminal, which is a puzzler mainly based on perspective, and in particular making things bigger or smaller based on your relative perspective of them.
And can I just say that making cheese bigger to be able to climb up it is the hardest thing in this game.
Yeah, the cheese ramps are pretty hard. There's one puzzle later on. Did you finish the game?
I finished the game. I finished it in under an hour.
The puzzle with the 2 fucking doors, we have to get through the keyhole.
Yes.
Couldn't do it any time I tried.
Could you not?
No, you basically, the way you're meant to do it, and I only worked out how you're supposed to do it after having done it every time, is you're meant to make yourself really big, make the other door really small, put it through the keyhole.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Did you make yourself really small and jump up the doors through?
If this is what I'm thinking of, I made one of the houses really small. I managed to like rest it on there. Then I walked through the door and I got up where I needed to. Yeah.
So I did that the second time. The first time I made myself like keyhole sized and platformed up the doors to get through it. And then only worked out afterwards you meant to shrink the door and put it through the keyhole and walk through.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of puzzles. Like that is my favourite level of the game, where you have to make houses bigger, like toy houses.
Oh, I think that's one of the more difficult ones, but I understand
it. And you like walk into the house, and that is a puzzle early on where you walk into it and you get to a door that's too small. So you have to go out a different door, make the house bigger so you're smaller relative to it, so you can get through the little door.
The only thing, the only issue I had with that is it's quite a finicky level for like getting the right sizes. But I think it's really good. And fortunately, as I said, I played it once and I managed to do it in sub an hour, which is a trophy. I think under 35 minutes is also a trophy. Yeah. But like, I don't think this outstays its welcome.
No, it's got a lot of cool ideas, and it's good in that, as you say, it has good ideas, it executes them. It leaves.
I had more fun with it than I did with, is it Marquette?
Marquette, yeah.
Which I think is a similar vibe, but this I think is better done.
It's the same idea. I like Marquette's idea of having the level in the middle and you put like things into it to make them bigger. But this I think was more creative in how it approached things, although some of its collectibles
I haven't done
are hidden so fucking well. Like the best one, I'll go over the best one. This is in the last level. The last like main level that has collectibles in it, where you're in the room and you have to create the paradox.
Right.
What you have to do is pick the building up.
Yeah, and then put it through
the door. Where one of the collectibles is you have to pick the building up, go through it so you start the loop, make the building small again, put it back on the model you took it from, and it's in one of the other buildings in the model.
That's stupid, I hate that.
Yeah. It's a lot of shit like that. Where you have to think so laterally, you're thinking outside of the game.
Yeah.
It's mad. Great game, though.
Really good game. Really good. Should we have a little look at our top 5 then for this month? So in 5th place, it has autocorrected, so it's Parapet the Rapper, but Parappa the Rapper 2 comes in at number 5.
Nice.
Number 4 is Klonoa.
I love Klonoa.
Do you want to give a little bit about Klonoa?
I do fucking love this game. This is a PS1 game. This is one of the ones that I've been thinking of buying, and it ended up on here. It's real quintessential like PS1 side-scroller platformery thing. It's absolutely adorable. It's not too hard. It's got a little bit of difficulty to it. There's a lot of stuff around, like, you trap enemies in bubbles and then you fire them, or, like, if you have one in a bubble, you can then double jump, because you can only normal jump normally. And it's just, like, very much you go into a level, there's 6 people to save, try and get 150 gems, get to the end of the level. It's real simple, beautifully PS1 stuff, and I really enjoyed it.
Fair enough. Good, sounds good. Number 3, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I keep writing Dark Ascent, but it's Dark Arisen. It's basically the original Dragon's Dogma, but with all of the DLC and all the extra in there. It's made by the same guy who did Devil May Cry. This actually came out before Devil May Cry, I think. I can't remember which way it came round, but it basically worked on it. But it's an action RPG where you play with a party, and it's got, like, they've actually got what made this big thing was like the pawn mechanic, and it is a really good game. I think it's one of those games that I'd recommend.
Mechanic?
Pawns, PAWN, like the chess piece.
Okay,
basically,
clarification for the listeners who also went to porn as in pornography.
There's
basically
porn
make,
and
like,
porn.
sidekicks.
Okay,
and then there's a tavern where you can recruit other people's sidekicks.
My head went straight to porn.
Yep.
As it would.
As it would.
Filth.
Fucking Resi poor truther. But it is one of those open things that I think was such an influential RPG. It definitely, like, influenced Oblivion. It influenced quite a lot of these big games. So it's really worth trying out. And I think it's still
cool.
It probably doesn't hold up, but it's still good fun. Like, you still get all the RPG elements. It's just the graphics that don't hold up.
And the second one's coming out.
It is, and that's the main reason I say to pick it up now, because the new one's coming out next year, and I'm very excited for that.
I think it'll be cool.
And then number 2 is Aliens Fireteam Elite.
Yeah.
And our number 1 champion game is Superliminal.
Which I think it is the best game.
I think it is as well.
I think it looks cool.
I mean, the fact I put it on and went, I'll just give it a go, and I popped the trophy. I was like, I'm shocked on my first run I did it that quickly as well.
I think I did it in like an hour 10, just because I got stuck for so fucking long on that door puzzle.
There was a point where I got really annoyed because I was like, I've done this bit, but I didn't realise I had to hit the fucking alarm clock again.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, Josh. I was stood for 10 minutes just looking at an alarm clock, so stupid me.
There's also a puzzle where you have to walk through a staircase, and I got stumped on that for so fucking long.
Oh, is that where you had to go through?
It's like the black staircase, and you walk through it and then walk up the other side of it.
Oh,
and I just got like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I would love to see you play it, Karis, and you just be like confused, going,
That's the only thing that puts me off, is that I think it looks really cool, but I just think it would fry my brain.
That's fair enough. And that's it. That's our things. What we're going to talk about, just because this is November, just to quickly look at. Next time we're doing these, we're going to be doing our Game of the Year one.
Yes, yeah.
So, are there any games that you've not played so far that you're going to try and grab and try and play before the next episode?
I want to give Dredge a go, because you guys have both recommended Dredge to me and said that you think that I would really like it. So I want to give that a go for sure. I definitely want to try Headbangers for myself.
That's fair enough.
That looks fucking cool. So yeah, I'm down to try Headbangers for sure.
I have a few things. I think I'm just going to have to let some go by the wayside.
Yeah.
I still want to try... I have to play more of Final Fantasy.
Yep.
I've started it, but I haven't got enough to make a judgment on it. I want to play Mario and Pikmin, and I don't think one or either of those is going to happen. I want to try Remnant. I want to try Ghost Runner. Jedi Survivors on my shelf, so I need to play a bit more of that.
Yep.
And then Wild Hearts recently became free on EA Play, so I want to give that a go.
It's also just come free on Xbox Game Pass, so I might...
Same sort of approach, yeah.
So I might do the same.
Give that a go.
I've got Metro Prime to play a little bit more of, Blasphemous 2, Sea of Stars I want to have a look at, as you know. It's obviously apparently better than Octopath Traveler 2.
Fucking who knew?
And maybe give Bramble a go. I mean, I'm hoping that I might be able to do Alan Wake 2, but as I said, I'm unwilling to buy a digital game myself. But we'll see. Baldur's Gate 3, I think, is going to miss all of us this year, and it's going to be in
I think I'm going to play it next year. It's going to be one of the ones like Sonic was for me at the start of this year. Where I go, I played this since our recording. It's pretty fucking good, huh?
I hope all of us then next year we get to our game of the year and we all go, which game did you wish you had played like your game of the year that wasn't this year? And all of us go Baldur's Gate 3. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, that's the end of another episode. Thank you everyone for coming along. If you do want to find out more about us, we are on socials, so do check us out at Discount Pod on Instagram, or our individual ones at Discount Darren, Discount Cerys, Discount Josh, all with 2 C's, apart from Cerys, which has 3 C's before you make that joke again, Darren. And follow us on there where we put all our gaming content up there and what we're doing. We are also on Twitch. We stream 3 times a week. As we mentioned, we finish our legacy games, but we do stream Monday and Friday legacy games, and we do stream on Wednesdays, which are episode games, so ones that we discuss in the other fighting episodes, not these ones. And
we stream everything we discuss.
And that all ends up on YouTube as well at Discount Pod. So just check us out, Discount Pod, anywhere, and you'll find podcasts, you'll find YouTube, you'll find Twitch, you'll find
bunch of shit.
You find a lot of stuff. But yeah,
in the new year we're gonna have a TikTok. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but we're gonna do it.
Fair enough. That I can't wait. Thank you all. Thank you, Darren.
I like clocks.
He likes clocks. He doesn't like the ticks of the TikToks. He only likes the talks.
He likes the talks.
He likes the end of those 6-second videos. Thank you everyone for coming along. Appreciate it all. Thank you for being our player 4, and we'll catch you all next time.
Fuck Resi 4, right?